Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Happy Friday, as they say in the corporate world. So before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. It's my first real commercial release as a full-time indie developer, so definitely check that out. Purchase it if you want to support me. Wishlist it if you want to wait for it to go on sale, which may be happening at some point in the future. And also, I've got my Udemy courses. This one's the Survivor style course in GD Script. It's got thousands of students, thousands of ratings, so I think it's a great way to introduce yourself to Godot, especially if you have some prior programming experience. I'm also working on a new Udemy course, which is the online cooperative multiplayer course. So if you want to be notified when that goes live, hit the notification bell. I'll post an announcement video on this channel when that's done. And what else? I think that's basically it. I don't know. There's other ways that everything's in the description below. So check out that stuff for sure. Very much appreciate the support. And yeah, let's get into what we're doing today. I actually don't remember what we were doing. Oh yeah, I got to get the auto resolve button to work. Oh, is this broken already? Did I break this already? Oh, no. Okay, I know what to do here. All right, anyway, before we get into it, A the Ant says first, even though I think Kiniaz was first, right? It won't let me scroll up to Kiniaz's first comment, but welcome, Kiniaz. Are we attending the DSA lecture with this one, guys? I don't know, are we? Darn, yes. You were not first. Hello, iCode stuff, welcome back. We are the first three, yes. Welcome back, Cool Modern Jaden. Let's see. First four. Godot is Godot. Yeah, the Godot engine is made in the Godot engine. Well, that's not accurate. It's the editor that's made in the Godot engine. So the engine itself is just like a collection of C++ classes and whatnot and UI libraries, and the editor is actually made with the Godot engine. So people always ask, can I make applications with Godot? It's like, Godot is made with the Godot engine. The Godot editor is made with the Godot engine. That's why, like, if you ever write an editor plugin, you write an editor plugin by adding nodes to the editor UI tree, basically. It's kind of weird. The stream is made of stream, that's true. Hello, Balato. Godot prioritizing web for version 4.5 is huge. Yeah, I saw that they have like a performance boost for web as well. Hello, Ali. Welcome. Coco Shell, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Got in just in time. Awesome. Hello, Anykey. I am on vacation and missed you this week. That's all right. Welcome back. Always good to have you here. Hello, Micah. Welcome. Cass. Hello. Maikun Dev. Welcome. The editor being itself a Godot game, honestly pretty impressive. Yeah, again, like, I'm back in, like, with this part-time job, I'm back in, like, the startup world, you know, to some extent. So all the terms are flooding back to me. That's what they call in the industry dog fooding your product, which is just, I hate that phrase so much. I don't know why, it just sounds weird. But yeah, dog fooding your product is basically when you use your own needs to develop the product, and if your needs align with the needs of your customer base, then it's like you're solving your problem at the same time that you're solving the customer's problem. So you're using your needs to drive the development of your app, which is also simultaneously addressing the needs of your customers. So anyway, Godot dot. Godot. Dog food. Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, so let's get this auto resolve button working, and then we can be done with this G-forsaken combat widget. So I think this position here I just need to copy this value and paste it here. There we go. So it's just the reset key that was wrong. Okay, so we've got this going, and then when I select it, it gets highlighted. So I need to make it clickable. Wasn't there? Oh, there was a problem that I was trying to address. in the last stream, which is that I can't change the speed when I open up the drawer. We'll get the auto resolve button working first, and then I'll figure out what's going on there. So if I go in here and I click, the auto resolve will show up. I need to make that clickable as well. That's very nice how that outline is working though. Okay. So let's make that clickable. So the auto resolve container, oops, I didn't open my VS Code. Hide auto resolve. Gotta wait for this all to start up. Did you redeem that Steam key? Yes, I did. Indubitably. Yeah, I did say that yesterday. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so hide auto resolve. Let's see. Mouse filter. What am I doing? I need to make this clickable. Did I add the clickables into it? I did. Mouse entered. Okay, so on GUI input in here, right. So we want to do game speed manager dot is auto resolving. Do I set this to true? No. Yeah. Auto resolve. Okay. And then I need to do hide auto resolve. Is that it? Is that it? So the hide auto resolve, this is this setting the material? This needs to set the material. Auto resolve dot material is equal to null. I don't know if that's necessary, but I'll just put that in there in case. I'm gonna lose this combat. Pro tip, if you see 2 arming swords and a villager, you probably can't beat it at level 1 or whatever the equivalent is. That looks great. Okay, so now I need to make sure that that auto resolve reappears when I do this again. There we go, auto resolve, perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Nice. Shop. Purchase all these things. I don't have any currency in it. Oh, I still love that hookah. That hookah is amazing. Yep. Okay. Booster. All right, so everything's looking good. So the only thing that I need to do is I need to make this clickable. I don't know why this became unclickable in here, but that needs to be made clickable for sure. So we'll figure that out. But we got auto-resolving in place, so that's good. Let's go ahead and commit that. Okay. Is that like red meat on a bone? I can't really tell. Oh, the mutton? Yeah, that's mutton. How's your multiplayer network course going? It's going well. I'm currently in the... I think there are... I have 52 lessons finalized, and right now it's about 12 hours. So I need... So right now I'm sort of in the phase of like wrapping up the game and tightening it up. So got a bunch of UI work to record on that, and then various other multiplayer stuff related to like lobbies and connecting and everything. So it'll probably be around 70-ish, maybe 75 lessons to like complete the course. But then I'm probably going to do a handful of bonus lessons at the end, which are just me extending the game in various ways and showing you how to extend the game to kind of give students who want to keep developing the project a little bit of direction. But basically, everything that I intended to teach for the course will be done by around 75 lessons. So it'll probably be close to 16 hours to do that non-bonus content. And then with the bonus content, it might be closer to 20 hours. The mediocre grave texture puts me off. I know, Kenny has. Actually, I think you have won this battle because those graves no longer match the style that I'm doing with all of my events. Because I'm like using a limited color palette within a limited color palette. So the 3 colors you see here on this screen, and then of course if you go into the shop, there's only 3 colors here. The only things that make use of the additional colors are the card art themselves. So that means that I have to go back into the boosters and change those graves to use that new color palette. Not new color palette, but use that style. So in here, this is obviously out of place, right? So yeah, I think that'll do a lot to help. What's the mutt on? Good one, The Ant. Good afternoon. Well, it's morning for me, but thank you, Real Cruda. Good to see you again. Do you think there will be a lesson on like host admin privileges or something? Host admin privileges. Well, the way that the course works is that whoever, like, you can go into the game and you can host, and it's like you are playing as a character and hosting the server at the same time. So it's going to be server authoritative from that perspective, which means that the way that we're designing the course is that the players are only going to send their inputs to the server, and the server runs the game and then rebroadcasts all the game state changes to the clients. So that's how the base course is going to go. I want to do a bonus lesson where I show how to give like player authority over their movements. So the problem with like sending the inputs over to the server and then synchronizing everything back is you get the round trip latency. So on bad network connections, there's going to be a noticeable input lag when you're playing as a player, which Godot does not have a built-in way of dealing with. Like Godot does not have a built-in like client-side prediction and reconciliation. There are tools that you can use to do that. You could of course write it yourself, but also there's NetFox, which is sort of like an up-and-coming client-side prediction sort of library / framework. I'm probably not going to introduce NetFox. I mean, I might mention it, but NetFox is under active development, so if I record course content covering NetFox, it's going to be out of date relatively quickly. But I'll mention that, but I think the thing I'm going to show to resolve the sort of round trip latency is just showing how you can give players complete authority over their movements. The problem with that is then that opens the door for cheating, right? Because if I'm the authority over my position in the game, then I can just like change my speed to be super high, or I can like teleport myself around and whatnot. But I think most people are curious about like server authoritative architectures to prevent cheating. And so that's the main focus of the course. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. What can I say? I have a vision. You do indeed. You do indeed. All right, so I really want to get back into developing some more gameplay stuff, though. I've just been doing visual work, but maybe we'll do some more fun stuff instead on this stream since it's Friday. But I do want to figure out that issue that I'm having with not being able to change these here. So let me figure out why that's happening. I don't even know where to look, because I did a little bit of investigation on this before, and I don't know why it isn't working. Let me do this. I'm just gonna try to isolate this by itself. So inside of the combat widget, if this dot is current scene, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do force hide or force change to speed disk. Maybe I'll do that after everything has been set up. That might be better. Yeah, let's do that. Let's run this by itself. Okay. So yeah, this works in here to some extent. Oh, interesting. Oh, I got some errors here. Object reference not sent to instance of object instance dot emit. Oh, I see. Game speed manager. That is not an auto load node. I think that's only available in the run manager. Let's see, game speed manager, yeah. So that's why it wouldn't work there. But the thing is, like, the mouse inputs are obviously being detected because they're being highlighted. So the problem with when I've got it in here is that that's not even being detected at all. And I don't know why that's happening. So I think force change to speed disk is being called in that drawer UI. Yeah, force change, yeah, here. I'm curious. Hello, Bogdan. Welcome. I have cybersecurity exams in 2 hours. Please send help. Good luck. How's that? Just hack the exam computer. There you go. We got papers like it's 1950s. That makes sense. I heard that a lot of colleges and universities are going back to paper exams because of the proliferation of ChatGPT, which honestly is like, that's hilarious to me. Like, we've come full circle. I'm asking because I'm planning on eventually making an application where a server host is able to assign roles to the other users. Oh, I see. No, I mean, that's more like permissions are more for like applications and stuff. Not necessarily, I mean, I know there are games that have permissions and whatnot, but no, we don't cover any of that. Though I think that my goal with the course is to give you enough general knowledge about how multiplayer and server authoritative architecture works that you could easily do a permission system. It would actually be, I think, relatively trivial. You basically just need to store all the permission data on the server side, and then when a client requests, like, to do a certain action, you just verify on the server that the player has the permission to do that action, and then you can either allow or disallow that action to happen. And then you just need to resynchronize, you just need to synchronize any state changes back to the client. So the client is literally only sending inputs to the server. The server is doing all of the game simulation and then broadcasting to the clients the things that are necessary to display the current game state. So you're basically just operating a puppet, is the way to think about it. You may just be cooked. Hack the paper. Hack the exam proctor. My C++ lectures are also done with papers, and you must not miss a semicolon. Oof. Oof, indeed. See, if I was doing that, I would just assume that... So if I was an instructor and I was doing paper programming exams, I would forgive those things that would be easily caught by the IDE. You know what I mean? Like, if you forgot a semicolon, like, your IDE is going to alert you of that, right? So, like... I don't see a reason to like take off points because, oh, you forgot, you didn't do it exactly right on the paper, right? I would mostly be checking, like, are you using the correct libraries? Are you approaching the problem correctly? Are you, you know, whatever I'm testing, I would just make sure that you got the gist of that. But that's just me. That's just me. Disk UI is looking really good. Thank you, Louis T. Dev. How am I doing? I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you? Might hack my way to bed. There you go. Want to hack a job application lately? Imagine being employed me. Yes, I wish you luck, Kineas. Good morning, Christopher. Yes, indeed. It is Friday. Please censor that word next time. Which word? I'm taking a real crack at learning Rust now. Awesome. Parallel Highway, welcome back. Code Inf. My college, one of my professors didn't care that much about syntax, just general thought and structure. Yeah. My C, C++, Java tutors also ignored missing semicolons, brackets, and stuff. Oh, job. Censor the job word. Coding on paper sounds really hard. No debug, no docs. Yeah. The other thing too is I think that there's, I don't know. I've told everyone that I have this part-time consulting job now for a startup, and I've been using ChatGPT quite heavily to help me do all kinds of things, because I'm only doing like 10 hours a week of work, give or, plus or minus a couple hours. And so like, I don't have time to like do a deep dive in everything. I've just basically been feeding stuff into ChatGPT and having it tell me like what the appropriate outcomes are. I've been relying on it very heavily to like write documentation and like proposals, because I'm mostly doing like investigation and research right now, and it is definitely making me a lot more productive, especially diving into the new code base. I've been opening up the client's code bases and just being like, okay, where is this call happening? Trace this data through the system. Tell me where X, Y, and Z things are happening, things of that nature. It's very, very useful compared to like a traditional onboarding where you gotta like get everything running on your local machine and like trace the data flowing through the system. It's like when you don't have that much time per week, you can't just burn a bunch of, you can't burn a bunch of time just doing that kind of setup stuff, So it's been a huge help so far. Gives me chills, the job word. Since we're British. We just write in IDE. Yeah, I mean, I might also just, like, if I was an instructor, I might tell my students, yeah, you can use an IDE, but if you do so, you need to record your screen. Like, I want to actually watch your session and see what you did. Because, like, if you just input in ChatGPT and, like, copy and paste, then, like, I think that might be a nice middle ground of like, okay, well, you can use the IDE and stuff, but record your screen and submit your video recording, and I'm going to watch it and see, if you're just relying too heavily on ChatGPT or whatever, or French. Yeah, I have to took my time not to open Godot today. I'm focusing on coming up with a card design. Nice. Could you do me a favor? Could you show how you store your grid, how it handles different dimension cards and cells? Sure, yeah, we can take a look at that. So there's a board inventory component here. So this is the component that gets attached to the board that stores a bunch of things. So I'm basically just storing various hash sets. So I've got valid grid cells. This is a little bit misnamed. This is the total cells that are on the grid. So this should be like total grid cells or something. And then I've got a hash set of all the cards on the board. This doesn't have positional information, obviously. But then I have like my occupied cells, which is a vector2i to card stats object. So a card stats object is just the card representation, the data representation of the card. And then I'm also storing the top left cells of the card. So that's like the root position, right? But basically, determining whether a card can be placed on the board is simply a matter of... So I have this try place card at position, and then there's a can place card at position here. So it's checking to make sure that first the grid has to contain a cell, has to contain that position that I want to put the card in. But also I'm checking all the card occupied cells. So this is the dimensions, right? So if I've got a card that's 3 cells tall, this card occupied cells will be a list of all of those cells, but this is a relative position. So this list of occupied cells is going to be 0, 0, 0, 1, whoops, and 0, 2. But then so that's the offset basically, right? And then based on the position where I want to place the card, I'm adding that offset to it. And I'm checking all of those positions to make sure that those are valid grid cells. So that's not going off the grid, right? But then I'm also checking to see if there are any other cards at any of those cells. So basically, I'm just iterating over all the cells that the card is going to try to occupy and checking to make sure that A, all of those cells are on the board, and B, all of those cells are empty. And then, assuming that succeeds, I have to make sure to clear whatever cells the card was previously occupying, and then I can just update the data, those hash sets and dictionaries that I mentioned earlier with the card sets. So it's very basic. It's just basically just raw checks. Like, here's the card dimensions, here's the position I want to place it at, check all of the cells that the card is trying to occupy, and if they're all valid, then I can place the card there. That's basically it. And then I just have a bunch of helper functions here. Most of this class, actually, it looks pretty beefy, but most of this class is just for querying the board. So like being able to check like what the adjacent cards are, get the cards in the row, all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit complex in here, but it's actually relatively simple. There's just a lot of functionality. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Have you gotten McDonald's this week? Asking the real question. Yes, I have. Just make sure to don't become over-reliant on ChatGPT. Yeah. Are you doing freelance contracts? Yeah, consulting work. So it's like it's a 6-week engagement, part-time. So my role is basically to advise them on certain technical decisions, and I may also be implementing some of those technical decisions depending on the level of effort. I want to start making a 2D survival game. I should use GameMaker or GDevelop or choose another engine. I don't know very much about code. Well, yeah, I would say don't start with the 2D survival game if you don't know code. I would say the typical advice, which I agree with, is start with a smaller project first to get your, get your code skills developed. GameMaker, from a software engineering perspective, I don't like GameMaker. I don't like the way that the scripting language works. It's just not. People make successful games in GameMaker all the time, so I'll preface that with that statement. But personally, I think that if you're okay with learning code, there are better engines that you can choose. I don't know anything about GDevelop either, though, so I'm sorry. Of course, I'm going to recommend that you use Godot, but that's my bias. I do use ChatGPT to find me things in new code bases in PHP right now, but I like do it on site. Yeah. I don't use a two-dimensional array. I think for me, like hash sets just make a whole lot more sense to me. I don't know if that would be scalable if you had a grid with like thousands of cells or like tens of thousands of cells. But my grids realistically aren't going to have more than a couple dozen cells in them. So I like to use hash sets because it's easier to just take a position and see, is there a card at this position, right? Rectum, I hardly knew him. Welcome back, Adam. Hello, Personal Haiti, welcome. I'm not going to add you as an Easter egg, but thank you for joining the stream. I don't even know what that is. Is that a pink sandwich? Good morning, Emerson. W. Are you interested in working for a game studio? Not. Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I tried GDevelop and I hated it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen devlogs of people working in GDevelop. It doesn't seem like it would be something that I would enjoy. How do you design systems for your game? I struggle with this very badly. You just got to build it one step at a time. As simple as that sounds, just try to get the basics in place and then, build into the features of build the system in accordance with the features that you need. I don't know if that's super helpful, but yeah, it's one of those things where I can't. It's just something that you have to do with experience. I think like it's hard to verbalize like a general question like that, like how do you design systems? There could be an entire textbook written about that. A lot of it just comes from experience and trial and error. So build the system in a way that sounds good to you and let the problems that get revealed in that system inform how you continue to develop that system. I don't know if I can give you a better answer than that. I'm sorry. Could use Godot with visual scripting. Oh, I keep forgetting visual scripting is a thing. Thank you for showing that because it's a fairly novel solution. You're welcome. Didn't you ask yesterday as well? Yeah, the Easter egg thing, yep, indeed. I tried Godot and I like how it works, but I get lost in that much scripting. So I want to try something with less scripting. You can learn the basics of code. Yeah, I just think that my opinion is that if you try to avoid code, you're actually going to become limited in your capabilities quite quickly. My recommendation to you would be to bite the bullet and learn code, because that's going to unlock so much flexibility for you. So if you're serious about making games, whether as a hobby or otherwise, I would recommend you just go with the solution that's going to give you the most flexibility, even if it also gives you the steepest learning curve. I think it's a sandwich with the pink sponges and as bread and wires inside. Yeah, that might be it. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Good to see you as always. All right, so yeah, we got to figure out why this isn't working here. You know what I'm going to do? One thing that I'm going to try is I'm just going to try hiding a bunch of things in the drawer UI here. First of all, map UI. Maybe there's stuff in the map UI that's not... Ooh, maybe. Let's hide the map UI. Nope, that's not the problem. Game UI is hidden. So let's hide this. Nope. Okay, so there is something in the drawer UI. Oh, it's the overlay texture. I thought I tested that. I'm pretty sure I tested that the other day. So the overlay texture, interesting. The overlay texture is intercepting the mouse events. Shoot. So the way inputs work, dang it. So if I'm not mistaken, the way that inputs work with Godot is that your inputs are going to be intercepted by UI nodes first, and then they will be intercepted by any areas. So I'm using areas, polygonal areas, to detect when your mouse is over these different segments here. But because of the way input handling works in Godot, I think the overlay texture is intercepting those events first. That's unfortunate. So this overlay texture, I believe it gets set to mouse filter ignore. So show overlay. It gets set to mouse filter stop, actually, when the overlay gets shown. So yeah, my widget, so these speed disks, these areas here, so there's the area, for example. That's unfortunate. What am I gonna do here? I don't even know. I wonder if... Let's see, I'll just print some stuff in here. No, obviously the mouse entered isn't... You know what I could do? On disk area mouse entered on... Oh, this should be on disk area input event. gd.print evt. I wonder if it's intercepting any events. It's probably not because of that overlay texture. No events whatsoever. Shoot. What am I gonna do? So the reason that the overlay texture has the mouse filter being set to stop is so that I can't click on any of the mouse or any of the map things in the background here. So that's the entire reason why, so this overlay texture is this little like screen door effect kind of thing. That's being set to have the mouse filter of stop so that no mouse events get to the map, but it's also preventing mouse events from getting to this area here. Interesting. Freakazoid song. I don't know what that is either. Welcome, Red Velvet. Oh, that does sound funny, actually. The next Five Nights at Freddy's game is coming out. They're still making those? It's not a problem to start with Godot if I want to learn, even if I don't know a lot. I don't think so, no. I mean, yeah, you just have to be aware that there's probably going to be a relatively steep learning curve, especially with the code and everything, but I do think that it's the best approach if you are serious about making games, because it's going to be the most flexible and give you the most power in terms of being able to do what you want to do. But you do have to be prepared for a steep learning curve, and you have to be prepared to kind of like stick with it and get through it, you know what I mean? Want to make an RPG with Godot? Yeah, I tried to make an RPG at one point too, and it was turning out pretty good. A lot of people were like, ooh, this is a cool idea, but it's just an immense amount of work. It really is. We all wanted to make an RPG, yeah, absolutely. Don't go into tutorial hell. I have so many finished RPGs because I was too ambitious, yeah. Gotta keep your foolish ambitions in check, to paraphrase that one guy from Elden Ring. Couldn't you change the node order, the z-index, to fix that? No, because it's not... It's the input handling in terms of whether inputs get to controls or area 2Ds is not dependent on the order. It just goes to the control nodes first. And yeah, the order depends... The way the control nodes handle the input depends on the order of the control nodes, but it gets past the control nodes first, and then it gets passed to the area 2Ds. So there's always that segmentation. That's just a quirk of how it works. I mean, I can try upping the z-index. I don't think that that's going to work, but I would be happy to be proven wrong here. So I'll take this margin container here. I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. But let's see. Let's see if I'll be proved a liar by Godot. Yeah, see. Change the z-index of that. It didn't do anything. So I can try to change the z-index of these areas as well. So I'll select all these areas, and we'll change the z-index down here. Oh, just tiny window. Yeah, still nothing. So it's not a matter of the ordering in the tree, it's a matter of the order in which Godot segments out the input events. So the only real way to fix this would be to disable the map input in a different way, which would be a little bit annoying, but could potentially be all right. Let me see. Yeah. I don't think changing the area priority is going to make a difference either, but let's just put it up and see. I'm fairly certain that's also not going to work. Yeah, doesn't work. So yeah, it's just a way of how Godot delivers the inputs to the various parts. Okay, let me just verify that this is going to work. Do this. Oh, that's not working either. So even when I set the overlay to ignore, that doesn't seem right to me. Really? So even when it's ignored, I can't get the inputs. Interesting. Let's see. Overlay texture. Mouse filter ignore. So even when it's set to ignore, I still am not getting those mouse inputs. That's a problem. So it has to be made invisible. Oh wait, that's not working either. Oh, I wonder if... Okay, now I'm confused. Now I'm confused. Why wasn't... Am I going nuts? Did I do... Interesting. What am I doing wrong here? Overlay texture.q free return. Oops. Show overlay. Let's just do a return in here. Return in here. Overlay texture.q free. We'll just get rid of the overlay texture and see what happens. Wow, that's not working either. Wait a minute. Is it not the overlay texture? What the heck is going on? Oh, maybe it's the map. Do I have to hide the map as well? Oh. Hold on. If I hide the map... Yeah, so it looks like the map is also causing problems. So wait, maybe the UI... Maybe the overlay texture wasn't causing the problem. Let's just do some experimentation here. Oh goodness, so many chats. Five Nights at Freddy's is never ending. It ended in the 3SL. Oh my gosh, I don't know all of these things. I'm in tutorial hell, can't get out of it. I'm sorry, parallel highway. It's areas, yeah. Okay, let's see. Hope you guys don't mind that I'm just skipping any chats that are directed at somebody else in the chat. How's game dev today? It's going well. Thank you, Jackie. Neon Script, welcome. Good to see you. How's it going? It's going well. Thank you, Yeet. Welcome back. Totally new to game development. Welcome. What is that? Boobaran Pabric. Bubbaran? Totally new to game development and no coding background. I tried Godot a week ago, tried to write some movement function from a tutorial, but there's a lot different form movement functions that overwhelm me. Yeah, the thing about game development is there's like 1,000,001 ways to do the same thing. So I would just stick with whatever works, honestly. Like, use whatever movement you're comfortable with, and just work with that, and then you can always change it later, you know? We still on the widget being on clickable, yeah. Your sounds exactly like Siegmeyer from Dark Souls. Awesome. Hello, Chizuru. Same, I have made modular systems and large projects on web and not game dev. I'm gonna join the coming Godot Wild Jam as an artist. Nice. Learning a lot here. Awesome. What's happening now? We're just trying to get the widget clickable here. Our widget is not being clickable. Also, did I do something wrong? Oh, I'm still queue-freeing it on accident. Oops. Broke my PS4 right now? No! 61 viewers. Yeah, it's getting up there in viewers. I think maybe everyone's coming from the code review series. Once I started releasing the code review series, that's when my stream viewership started going up. Is the z-index changed during runtime? It is not, no. I try not to change z-indices at all, if possible. You are welcome. You are welcome. Okay, so what happens if I hide the map? Map UI. That doesn't work. So the map and the overlay texture need to go away. Oof, that's going to be tricky. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to fix this. Let me think. I don't think this priority... I don't think this priority changes the inputs. Wow, this is going to be a tricky one. I honestly don't know what to do about this. I don't know what to do about this. This is going to be basically impossible to fix. I mean, not basically impossible, but I'd have to coordinate a bunch of different things. What happens if I turn the map UI to ignore? Oops, that's not going to be a total fix, but turn the map UI to ignore, and then in my overlay texture, if I turn this to ignore. No, that didn't work. Okay. All right, so we're getting there. So I changed the map settings. So this map UI, we're going to make this ignore as well. Okay, so this map UI. So now I think I just need to modify the overlay texture. The problem though is I don't want to be able to click on these things. So I need to make the overlay texture also ignore. So I think the unfortunate thing I'm going to need to do is come up with a different way of blocking clicking on the map nodes if I want to enable this. I was stuck in tutorial hell for 7 months and I asked ChatGPT for help. My idea was always a card builder battle type game. Finally working on that. Awesome. Code review series is what made me go in the stream. I learned a lot from it. Awesome. Thank you, Coco Show. Glad you enjoyed it. Just not show the widget on the screen that doesn't need it. Well, it does need to be on that screen because that's where the player health is. If I don't have the widget there, there's no way to see your health outside of a combat situation. I could create an alternate view for the health, but I don't really want to do some more different health UI. Hello, Chris. I do enjoy the code reviews, even if I don't fully understand it all. Good. Can you explain what exactly isn't working? Put it into words might help. It's totally not because I don't get it. The problem is that these disk segments are not clickable, and the reason is because these are area 2Ds that are determining when the mouse has entered it. But in Godot, the way that the input works is that the inputs get passed to control nodes first, and then they get passed to any pickable area 2Ds. So the problem is that I have this overlay texture here, which is intercepting all mouse events so that I can't click on anything on the map. But because this is intercepting all mouse events and it's a control node, it is blocking those mouse events from getting into the area 2Ds here, which makes this not clickable. That's the problem. I think I answered this one, yeah. What's the issue? I got that. I like the orrery animation, thank you. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Moving the widget and the inventory screen would look empty. Maybe get rid of the shader so the map is still visible. That way the screen wouldn't look empty. Well, then it's going to look too busy, and I also don't want these to be clickable. I don't want the map elements to be clickable when you've got that screen open. Also, since this board kind of flies out here, it would be kind of weird for that just to be floating over top of the map, make everything clearly visible. I mean, what I could do potentially is, I mean, I think the only other thing is remove the mouse filter stop on this overlay texture and then just make each of these nodes individually not clickable. But that's a little bit, Oh, I love, very nice. I will be honest, I'm still asking ChatGPT and Cursor for help now and again to make sure I'm doing fine. Yeah, that's a good idea. Use it as your little personal tutor. That's the best, one of the best uses of ChatGPT, I think. You don't need to click your health though. No, I don't need to click the health. And having a best friend who watches me make it, his advice helps too. Yeah, that's true. Hello, Snupbill. Thank you so much for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that. That's always very generous. Thank you, thank you. We've got the message yummers that we all look forward to every morning. Thank you, Snupbill. Very much appreciate that. I use Copilot to explain what I'm writing wrong in Rust, and it's helping me learn. Yeah, it's a great, great application of ChatGPT. Absolutely. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right. One thing I could do, which would be a little bit hacky. No, I don't want to do that. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. All right. Tell you what. I'm going to not fix that right now because I want to do something fun. And that is decidedly not fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. And then when I come back, let's add another card into the game. I haven't done that in a while, and I'm sure I'm going to be a little bit rusty in terms of how I use my system to create new cards. So we'll create some new cards, and we'll see how that goes. And that's going to involve art. That's going to involve scripting. I think it'll be pretty fun. So we'll do that when I get back. In the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support my work. Give me just 3 minutes. I'll be right back, and we'll do some fun stuff. Hello everybody, welcome back to me. I use Copilot for PHP Uni project because, because I don't want to learn PHP. Yep, that's a good idea. Yummers, yes indeed. I want a PS Vita, should I get one? I cannot tell you. I'm not a console or handheld gamer, so I don't know. I don't know. You get the entire PSP library with many great games plus all of PS Vita library. Interesting. I can, if you mod the PS Vita. I used to have a PSP, the old PSP, which actually had like discs, like the little tiny discs that you put into it. I would save up for a Steam Deck, can use emulators to play pretty much anything. Would like to platinum a few games I want first. Yeah, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's gonna be a better Steam Deck model. Watch your Gunforge devlogs. Any chance you could show how the tool you created to create a new gun works that you used in the worm gun video? If it isn't tedious to boot the project up? Yeah, I think I'm not going to do that, but I think the tool is very simple. Basically, I created 3 template scenes. So the magazine scene, the barrel scene, and the receiver scene. And then I also have corresponding resources, magazine, barrel, receiver resources. And the script that I wrote basically just like, it just copies those files and renames them and puts them on the disk in the proper locations. And that's just basically how it works. So it's really, really simple. It just takes the input name and then it uses that name to copy, to duplicate all those files and then renames them in accordance with what the name provided by me is. So that's just like a nice way of getting all the boilerplate stuff in place. So it's actually relatively simple. I don't know if it's necessary to actually boot up the project and show how that works. What are we calling this game? I have some names in mind, but I don't want to reveal it just yet because I don't want to just, I don't want to reveal the name until I have a Steam page because I don't want any other game to take it, right? I mean, I may actually end up set up a Steam page just so I can reserve the name. It's kind of like reserving a name in like an MMO, right? Got to rush in and create your character even if you're not going to play right away so no one takes your name. So I have a name in mind, but I don't want to reveal it just yet. I am so sad. Why are you sad? Your game on Steam looks cool. Not yet, but it will be. Thank you, Junba. Card making stream. Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to look at my my Necromancer grid board here. The game is called Necromancer Grid. I'll reveal it right now. No, I'm kidding. So we've got some enemy art we can do. We've also got player art ideas. And we've got some ability ideas in here. So let's take a look at maybe an ability. Give adjacent cards echoes. If you have less than X% HP, gain double shield. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Let's see, what could we do with that? Mausoleum Key, Eyeball, Morel, Lead Ingot, Tombstone, Dowsing Rod. Dowsing Rod sounds like it would be a healing item. Tomes, Zombie, Bone Necklace. I think a zombie would be interesting. I think a zombie would probably do some damage as well as some poison, perhaps. Improves the healing of any healing ability by 1. Consume all current poison stacks and deal damage equal to that amount. I don't know if that's a good one. Because the way I'm thinking about this is I don't think that the enemies are ever going to apply poison to the player. Cleanse current debuffs, that's an interesting one. A Whips, a Leech. We could also focus on some enemies here, so we got all kinds of enemy ideas. So the enemies are villagers, basically, like think medieval peasants, so anything that's like medieval themed. So we've got like horses, oxes, paladins, friars, foot soldiers, trebuchet, crozier, a wench, barkeep, lamb, jester, apron, hammer, sweet roll, ballista, chicken. And then, of course, for the necromancer, for the player, this is all more like alchemy, necromancy, like grave robbing stuff, right? So there's a very clear, like, thematic difference between the two. I think I do want to do... this one sounds interesting. If you have less than X% HP, gain double shield. I want to do that one. So I'm going to put this at the top, and let's just figure out like what thematically would go with that. We get A Sprite booted up here. A giant finger. That might be a good one. Tombstone. Giant finger doesn't really match with shielding though. What's a thematically like medieval alchemy, necromancy kind of item that could give a shield? If it's called Necro Hand, I want to be in the credits for calling it. Okay. Deal. Angry Man's Deck Dungeon. Got that elevator pitched down to a tight 15. I don't know. This interface is really cool. What software is it? This is Obsidian. It's Obsidian with the Kanban community plugin. The nice thing about Obsidian is everything is stored as markdown files, so you own all of your data, which is awesome. I destroyed my PS4 because I tried to change a terminal grease on it and ripped a fan header off. Oh no, sorry about that. Love the sacrificial lamb very metal. Chicken as an enemy, yeah. Something like a cooler notepad or on my, yeah, it's a text editor. Yeah, it's like just a note software. It's highly extensible. It's got a lot of plugins. Beating heart fits the ability the best. I know, but I don't know if I can draw that. I mean, do we want to try it? Do we want to try it? Maybe an amulet? Yeah, maybe like a bone necklace would work. We could do like a bone necklace, nail like a shield of a finger. You know what? Actually, I kind of like that. If I do the giant finger, but make it like, have like a big nail or something. All right, let's do that. Giant finger. Yeah, let's do it. In progress. If you have less than X% HP, gain double shield. Okay, so let's do the art first. I do have to go at like 11:45, so I've got, what, 35 minutes? Let's see what we can do in 35 minutes. So firstly, I'm going to open up my assets directory here. We're going to go into card. Oh shoot, I forgot how to do this. Yeah, background. We're going to make the giant finger a 2x1, so we'll open this up. Create a new layer. We're going to save this under card, new folder, giant finger, giant finger.png, load default palette. Okay, let's see now. So I'm going to start with the fingernail. Let's do it maybe like this. Okay. And I'm gonna make, let's see. Gotta be kind of careful about how we draw this one. And then we'll make it like a little bit gory, I guess. Kind of sloppy right now, but that's all right. Actually, I think that maybe it should go like this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That looks much better. Cool. We'll do like a little cuticle here. I think that's what it's called, right? Cuticle. Okay. Nope, don't do that. Nope. I'm trying to like make striations or whatever in the nail. You know what I mean? That looks fine. That looks fine. I could even do... No, that's fine. Maybe we'll do it a little bit darker here. Yeah, that looks great. I like that. Okay, and then same for here. We'll just make this a little bit darker. Okay. Trying to give the impression of like a knuckle. How would that look? Oh, it's missing an extra segment too. So the way I'm drawing it... No, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you would cut off the finger. So it's... Oh, wait. Yeah, there needs to be 2 knuckles. Does there need to be 2 knuckles? I don't think so, maybe. Maybe it's fine. Wonder if I should do something like this. Okay, let's do... Make this even thicker, actually. Yeah, this just needs to be a little bit more... That'll work, actually. I think maybe it just needs to be thinner down here. Nope. What if I should just shorten this a little bit? That'll work. Oops. Yeah, just trying to get something. Do I want to use this third color? Let's see. Third color might be good. So if I do... I was wondering if I should do something like this. This maybe looks a little bit too thick to me. If I just move this down a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. Maybe if I highlight this section down here. Let me think. Let's see. Ooh, that looks actually kind of decent. That's actually not terrible. It's not terrible. I think what I'll do is I'll just darken some of this up though. And then do I want to do... I don't think I want to do like a lighter color up there. Maybe I do though. Nah. I think that looks a little bit weird maybe. I don't know, do we like the highlight on the knuckle there? I don't think I do, but let's see. Light mode Windows. Is there a dark mode in Windows? It's like getting the right domain name, yeah. Looks like a cert. Yeah, I know. I knew these were coming. I knew these were coming. Yep, get it out of your system. What is an echo? An echo is the card executes again. Accidentally. Okay, all right. Yep, get it out of your system, everybody. Card ability idea, inflicts confusion, attacks ally. That is a good one. That is a good one. Forbidden nugget. Some highlights on the knuckle part. Yeah, so I don't know. Do we think that the knuckle is okay with the highlight here? How are we feeling about this generally? Is this okay? I think maybe there just needs to be, yeah, maybe the just extra pixel there helps. I think that looks actually okay. What do you guys think? The highlight is still kind of weird up here, but I think it maybe... Does it look better without the highlight? Or maybe just like a slighter highlight, maybe? This down here needs to have a little bit more shading. Do we feel okay about that? A lighter tone of orange would make it more readable as the lines on the knuckle, but since you're sticking to the palette, I don't think you could do much else. Yeah. Yep, I'm limited by the color palette here for sure. Okay, well, I'm just gonna call that good. I think it looks okay. I mean, if you saw this, would you think finger? I think so, right? I think it's probably okay. So we've got our giant finger available now. So let's go into the game. Resources card. Let's create a new resource. Card definition resource, giant finger. Let's see, giant finger, art, quick load, giant finger. Dimensions, it's 2 in the X. Tags, it is a relic. And ritual. All right, so now we need to create a giant finger script. Scripts, data, card. Okay, so we got our giant finger. So we need a new composed ability. So I want to make this apply shield, I think. So let's do, so I need to create a new composed ability. So this is simple, we've got simple shield here. Let's create a shield health scale, I guess we'll call it. I'm just gonna copy this as a base. Shield health scale. Okay, dynamic magnitude ability. So this is gonna be shield ability. I think this is an ability, right? Yeah. Value scaler, original base magnitude, ability scaler, yeah. Tag filter, we don't need that. Okay. Shield health scale base magnitude. So shield ability. Let's go to new shield. Query count, this was wrong. So I need to scale, oh, interesting. I don't know if I have a way of getting the player health in a card data here. In a card definition. Query count provider. So I'm gonna need a different provider here. Let's do that. Let's create a new, I'm gonna copy this. Paste this into ability. Let's do player health provider. Paste it in here. We don't need these query options. Get value, health value. This is not a board queryable. Base card ability, so execute. So we have execution context dot state dot. Actually, let's do board health provider instead. Board health provider. Execution context dot state. No, execution context dot source board dot board combat component dot. Do I not have a way of getting the current health? Oh, the health component is public. So dot health, huh? Board combat component, oh. Health component dot current health. Is that not an int? Okay, we'll make this a float. Can I make this a float? I hope so. By ability value provider, no. So let's do mathf dot round to int. Okay, so there's our board health provider. So we're going to change this to board health provider. New board health provider. Value scaler is equal to new value scaler board health provider. Value scaler set multiplier. What did I say? Double shield. So let's do original base magnitude. No, let's do multiplier 2. Oh, there needs to be some conditionality around this too. Shoot, how is this gonna work? So this value scaler should not change. Do I have like a conditional? I've got a conditional value provider. Where is this being used? Adjacent scaled poison. Conditional value provider. I see. The problem is conditional value provider. Shoot. Conditional value provider. I need this value to be provided as a %. That's what I need, not as an absolute value. So let's just change it. Rename. Oh, shoot. Where's my conditional value provider? Conditional value provider. Does this accept? This only works with ints as well. Interesting. I'm basically doing everything with integers. I mean, I could express the % as an integer as well. That might be the thing that I have to do. I don't really have support in my ability system for doing float values, which may end up being a critical flaw. We shall see. But for now, I'm going to work within that constraint, and I'm just going to use an int. So board health, I'm going to rename this to % provider. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the var health component is equal to that. This is going to be health component dot current health divided by, can I actually get, maybe I should get the % from here actually. Yeah, I'll just do that. So we're going to do health component dot health % times 100, and we'll round that to an integer. Okay, and then we'll change this to health % value. Okay, so now in my shield health scale, this is, I need a new conditional value provider. Okay, so board health provider, board health % provider for our conditional value provider, board health % provider, condition health %, let's do less than 50. When true, we are going to do 2, and when false, 1. Value scalar, this conditional value provider is going to go in the value scalar there. No, wait. I actually don't remember how this is being used. Oops. Oh, that's going in the... double the poison applied. Oh, I see. So I actually need to follow this. So this would be shield ability dot get base magnitude times 2. Otherwise, shield ability to get base magnitude. So we don't need these. We don't need this value scalar here, or do I? Shoot, I don't know how this is going to work. Because I need to be able to scale it up with, in terms of the tier. Shield ability. Oh, maybe this is fine. Original base magnitude. Ah, yeah. Okay. All right. Do I have an example of using a conditional value provider with a scalable ability as well? Scale for tier, damage ability, set base magnitude. Oh, yeah, I don't think I need the value scalar. Make multiplier tier scalar. Let's get rid of this value scalar here. Shield ability dot set base magnitude to magnitude here. This becomes the conditional value provider. Okay, I think that's basically right. So apply shield ability dot get base magnitude shield, double shield applied if health less than 50%. This needs to be duplicate now, so shield health scale, new shield health scale. We don't have a tag filter coming in. So let's see, this becomes that. And I don't know how the tier multiplication is going to work. Make multiplier scalar. So we're doing floor to int original magnitude plus, oh, it's doing 50% per tier. Okay. So shield ability is new shield. This becomes the base magnitude, so I need to pass this in. Okay. All right, so now in the giant finger, we're gonna do new shield health scale. We'll do 4 shield by default. And then let's also change the turn cooldown on this to something like 4, maybe 5. Can shield be affected by... Shield can be affected by critical modifiers. Very interesting. I don't know how my critical system works. I haven't worked on that in a while. Give it some wrinkles. Difficult to use the built-in script editor on large-scale projects since it's so small. Maybe. It looks like a thumb. That's not necessarily a problem. Hello, Ariane. Welcome. Hello, Rookie Tookie. Welcome. Okay, so now the last thing to do is to test this. So I need to add it. Card registry, public const string giant finger. Giant finger. Okay, let's go to my run manager. I don't remember where I'm doing this. Var giant finger. All right, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Giant finger, apply 4 shield. Oh, whoops. That shouldn't say shield. I'm using different language for this. Although what's interesting is that it detects that that's there. So anyway. Game is looking better and better. Thank you, Trayson. I appreciate that. All right, so there's our giant finger. Apply 4 preserve. Double preserve applied if health is less than 50%. All right, so there's going to be an easy way to test this. We'll put the finger in there, and then we'll go to the combat here, and we'll just let it play through, and we'll see if this works. So I'm getting 4 shield there. I should get 8 shield when I cross the 25 health threshold. There we go, 8 shield, look at that. It works flawlessly, first time. Sweet, look at that. This is turning out, everybody. This game is turning out. So what I like about this game too is that it's going to be perfectly feasible to do a purely defensive build, because as the combat drags on, the enemy is going to be affected by a debuff called Necrosis, which ramps up in damage over time. So if you want to play a playstyle where you're just maxing out on heals and shields, you absolutely can, and you can just outlast your enemy. So you don't even need to damage. Like, you could go in a boss fight without doing a single point of damage and still win, because that Necrosis debuff. That's a playstyle that I definitely want to enable, because I think that it's just going to make certain types of runs very fun. So definitely very cool. But yeah, that's basically how I add new things to the game. The last thing that I need to check is I just need to make sure that if I scale this up, so if it goes up a tier, I just need to make sure that it's scaling properly as it goes up in tiers. So let's see if that works. So I upgraded it. So it should say Giant Finger Tier 2. It applies 6 Preserve now. So it's going a 50% increase every tier. And it's going to double Preserve applied if health is less than 50%. Sweet. So with this card, you're also incentivized to not have a super large health pool because you're going to get more benefit if you take a little bit of damage. There we go, 12 now. So here's the necrosis kicking in here. The enemy's just going to gradually die. There we go. Cool. The code also seems usable for other stuff you make. Yeah, it should be. It should be. What are your thoughts on a good wishlist goal for someone's first game? I have my first Steam page up and slowly getting wishlists. It's exciting. I just don't know what goal I should have. I mean, the general like common wisdom is you should have at least 10,000 wish lists. I realize that that's easier said than done, but generally speaking, that's the advice. But you know, I mean, if it was my, I mean, Gunforge wasn't really my first game that I released on Steam, but Gunforge did have around 10,000 wish lists when I released it. There's a finger, there's got to be a hand. You finger, oh no, oh no. Hand of Exodia. How do you induce necrosis? It's just on a timer, so I think after 15 rounds, so 15 back and forths, that's when the necrosis starts. So you just have to last for a certain amount of time before the necrosis kicks in. That's kind of borrowing from in the game The Bazaar. If the combat drags on too long, a sandstorm comes in and it damages both opponents equally. So it's just whoever is doing better is the one that survives and wins, right? Which is a very clever way of like preventing soft locks where like you're just infinitely going back and forth. So I borrowed that, but instead I made it a player only advantage. So it's only the enemy that is disadvantaged by the rounds going on for too long. And that's what enables me to do like a defensive build purely, right? So yeah. Just finished getting up to date with code reviews. Super good learning material. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Ignosum. Very nice. That's impressive. I honestly just want to make $1,000 to get my money back so I can use it to make another game. Yeah, I mean, in that case, like a couple thousand wish lists, it depends on the price of your game too, but I think a couple thousand wish list target to make $1,000 is reasonable. I think about making a Kickstarter for this game. No. Any support that I ask for would be through probably like YouTube memberships and whatnot, which I'm planning on releasing. Also, I'll be supported by my Udemy course. I've got some other things in the works as well, which I'm not sure how they're going to turn out, but I've got some other things, and of course I've got my part-time job as well. So I'm getting my budget under control so that I can finish this game, but I don't think a Kickstarter is necessary. I think my kind of thinking is that, you know, I don't want to add unnecessary obligations to myself, which is what you would do with a Kickstarter. If I can patch up my budget and be profitable in other arenas, then I can take my time making this game, and then this game can be another revenue source, you know. How are you not exploding from doing all these things at once? Well, I am. I'm starting to see a lot of different positive movements in a lot of different directions. So it's getting there, you know. It's just explode. I don't necessarily not expecting an explosion. I just want to make a comfortable living doing all this stuff, and everything is trending in the right direction. So hopefully that trend continues, and that's really all that matters. You know, I'm not concerned about blowing up. I'm not concerned about selling 1 million copies. I'm just concerned that the trend is going in the right direction. Like every month, am I making a little bit more money? You know, am I selling a little bit more copies every time I release a game? Are my Udemy courses doing a little bit better? Like, oh, combusting from the stress. Gotcha. It's not that stressful. I mean, it's just about time management. You know, if your priorities are straight and you're managing your time directly or well, then you know, everything falls into place. Like this game, as much fun as I'm having with this game, it's at the bottom of my priority list right now. The first priority is making sure the consulting work goes well so I can get paid for that. Second priority is getting the Udemy course finished so I can get paid for that. Third priority is like keeping up with the code review videos because that's generating a lot of people coming to the channel and whatnot. And then the fourth priority is this game. But those priorities will shift, you know, after the course is done and so on and so forth. You've done well at Udemy, but is Udemy fair with what they pay you? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the real power of Udemy is that they're organic. The way that they organically surface courses through their search, like Udemy takes a huge cut of the sales that are generated through their platform, but I think it's for good reason because whenever somebody wants to go to an online course, they go to Udemy first. And Udemy is very good about surfacing the courses like that are doing well. So like my courses will show up in the first page of search results when people search for Godot, which is huge. Like I couldn't buy that marketing if I tried, right? So Udemy is basically doing the marketing for my course on my behalf. And so I would say that even though the payout sort of revenue share is a little bit skewed in Udemy's favor, it's made up for by the fact that it's basically driving most of the sales. Like Udemy is the one driving most of the sales. So, you know, can't complain really. Keep up the grind, it'll pay off. Yeah, I'm hoping so. You're building a nice audience who will support you. I'm one of those people. Thank you, Yeet. I appreciate that. Hope that makes what you're doing feel less risky. Yes. Yeah, I'm in a good, like obviously I appreciate all support and I'm trying to grow my revenue and stuff, but I'm in a good situation. Like there's no universe whatsoever where I'm like, I can't pay my mortgage or anything like that. Like that's not possible. So that takes away a lot of the stress too, because worst case scenario is I just have to move some money around. What's the consulting? Do you take indie dev clients? No, I'm doing software engineering consulting for startups. So that's more in my wheelhouse. I would not, to be honest, I would not take consulting jobs for indie dev or game dev clients because I don't have enough experience for that to be worth the cost. But I do have enough experience with software engineering, so happy to do that kind of consulting. Courses are better than 95% of Godot courses. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, it's very kind. Have you researched other platforms like Skillshare? Yeah, the thing is Udemy is still the big guy on the block, so. Part-time job, I'd love to give more time to my side projects, but harder with a full-time job. Yeah, software consulting. If you can do freelance consulting for, 10 to 20 hours a week, then you could free up some more time. That's why I'm taking it, because it's like, it's not a full-time job, but it still patches up some of my budget, so also might be seen as a conflict of interest. Usually with like contractors, because you're not a full-time employee, there really is no like conflict of interest. Like you sign an NDA for the very specific job that you're doing, but because you're a contractor, like it's just infeasible for a company to say, hey, we own anything else you work on. It's like, well, if I'm a contractor, I could be working on multiple different contracts at the same time. Like you can't just claim universal ownership of like anything else that I'm working on. You're purchasing my hourly talents for like a very specific purpose. You don't have the same capabilities as like a full-time employee to claim ownership of my work or whatever. That's just not how it works, Have you considered doing reviews of good templates? There's a particular indie template I've been trying to incorporate in my workflow. It looks super powerful but complicated. Yeah, I'd be open to reviewing like open source projects that are available in Godot. There's no reason that any project that I review has to come from like a viewer submission, but I think it's more fun when it's like viewer submissions. But anyway, unfortunately, I have to go prep for a meeting that's happening in 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to end the stream there. But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your support. I'm glad that we were able to get this giant finger done. That makes me feel very good. First card I've added in many weeks. So anyway, take a look at the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. I very much appreciate all your support. Thank you all for being here. I had a lot of viewers today, so it was really fun. And I will maybe be streaming tomorrow, so hit the notification bell to be notified when or if I go live. Otherwise, I'll be back at it Monday at 10 a.m. Thanks again, everyone, and I will see you next time.